Okay, so I am going to show you the standard algorithm for multiplication, for multi-digit multiplication, which is what we've been doing in class. And it does involve a lot of steps in the process, which can sometimes be tricky to remember. So one way I like to remember it is just with the basics: multiply, zero, multiply, add. And we're going to practice that with the number 328 times 42. Okay, and so our first step is multiply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the ones place. So I'm going to take that ones place and I'm going to multiply it by all of the top numbers. So I'm going to start with the ones to the ones. So 2 times 8 is 16, and then I'm going to regroup. And now I'm going to go with the ones to the tens place. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And now I'm going to move I'm going to multiply the ones to the hundreds place. So 2 times 3 is 6. And I'm going to put it right there. And notice how I'm lining up all my place values nice and neat. So now our first step of multiplying is done. So now our second step is 0. And what I mean by 0 is we're actually moving on to our next place value. So we're moving on to the tens place. And we have a 4 there. And remember, we're not multiplying 4, it's the tens place, so we're really multiplying 4 tens, which is 40. So I'm going to put my 0 down in the ones place just to kind of hold that place, because that's where the 0 would go in 40. So now I've got my 0, and now I can move on to multiplying. So I'm going to take that 4, that 10, and I'm going to multiply it again by all of the top numbers. So I'm going to go multiply 4 times the ones, which 4 times 8 is 32. And I'm going to have to regroup. And then I'm going to multiply 4 times the tens place. And I have 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. And I have to regroup. And then I'm going to multiply 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1, and that is 13. Okay, so now my multiplication is done. So now the last step is I'm going to add. And remember that these numbers down here are called partial products. So remember, the answer to a multiplication problem is called the product. So these numbers represent just part of that, part of the product. When we add them up together, it equals the final product. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to add 6 plus 0 is 6, 5 plus 2 is 7, 6 plus 1 is 7, and then we have, so our final answer is 13,776. That is our final product.